Good evening. Once upon a time, I was better prepared. I'm going to tell you about how we got here, but once upon a time, I was better prepared. I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I knew, like, intrinsically, or I felt like I knew intrinsically who I was, where I was going, what the plan was. And back in 2017, I had my first child, who is going to be 18, and I'm shook. And in 2019, my world was upended. Left was right, wrong was left, upside down was straight on. And since 2019, I've struggled immensely trying my best to get back, let's start there, get back to who I was. I've always been extremely creative, extremely forward. Well, not necessarily forward, let me not say that. I'm nervous for this because I've reached a point in my life where I am a post and go girly. Those that know me know, or at least those who knew me back in the day, I was the person who walked around with the digicam on my wrist. I documented everything. And to this day, I kind of still do. I just don't post everything these days. Mostly out of fear, but also I've reached a point in my life where I'm unmasking a whole lot, and I don't like to be perceived. And the act of being actively perceived, it makes me very uncomfortable. So doing this, it's a little jarring. And mind you, I talk for a living. I can talk. Talking to a camera and or a phone screen is one thing, but then when you put this out, that opens up another can of worms. So yeah, all right, this is the Hidden Gem podcast, where I try to make sense of the fuckery that goes on in our lives. We gotta find the silver lining somewhere, because at the end of the day, one thing that's one thing that is inevitable is life is gonna life. And it's what we do after adversity, during adversity. It's what we do in those moments that kind of define who we are, what we are, where we're going. And by we, I'm talking mostly about me, because this is my podcast. And so I am going to do my damnedest to find the silver linings in some fucked up situations. Starting with myself, of course, whether it be via story time, or I'm not always going to be sitting here talking with my hands. I might be doing something else. I might have guests. I'm still trying to figure that bit out. But I think that this is necessary, because one thing's for certain, two things for sure. Your girl can yap, but also I feel like I've had so much to say for so long, and the journaling isn't enough. Therapy's fine, but also I feel like while folks might not be inherently good because we are flawed, it's important to find the silver linings in situations where you were ready to put the day in rice or throw in the towel. And so, to my previous point, I was talking about how before my life, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. And I had kids, and life continued, and then 2019 came. And 2019, on March 1st, 2019, my father passed away. And there are an insurmountable amount of words. Like, there are no words. You know what? Is that even what insurmountable means? I'm looking it up after this. There are no words to describe how awesome he was. And it's been 6 years and I still struggle talking about him in the past tense, talking about him in general, listening to music that he liked. But I've found, as time has gone on, ironically, I have so many traits of his. Yes, he's my father. We understand how genetics work. We understand that. But seeing it show up in ways that I never expected. Being able to look into my eyes through my youngest daughter, knowing that she looks the most like him out of all the grandkids, she looks the most like him. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. She was born in 2021 and I've had a tough time looking at her sometimes without breaking down into tears. But yeah, I wanted my first episode to be raw and uncut. Am I always going to be in my t-shirt and house clothes? Probably not. I'm more than likely will be a bit more done up moving forward, mostly because I find that, excuse me, yeah, I'm a baddie and all that, but like, when you look good, you feel good, and I have been dragging my feet on even putting this together. I'm staring, there's a calendar behind the ring light and the setup, and my desk is also to the right, but on that calendar, like, I made sure to fully suss out, you know, filming, editing, posting, etc., because I want this podcast to be a place for us to kiki, a place for us to laugh, cry, talk about serious things, have open and honest dialogue while remaining kind. I want to be very, very clear about what this is and who I am, because now, in my 30s, I have never been so secure in myself than I am right now. This is not a platform to dump on people, unless it's men. Kidding. But no, this is not. I don't want this to be a platform that is fueled off negativity, Twitter think pieces, or anything of the sort. I just want to have conversations with y'all, let you into my head, because your girl can ruminate. Some of you may or may not know, I am neurodivergent, and unpacking that has been a doozy. But what I will say is, from all the learning that I've been doing, learning, unlearning, relearning, all of the learning, I'll say that there's a reason why. There's a reason. We're not going to be mean here. Yeah, you will understand my humor over time. I am rather sarcastic. I do my best to be kind always, and to keep folks' humanity at the forefront of anything that I do. However, the folks who are any of the isms, misogynist, racist, excuse me. Camera just turned off on you, girl. Disrespectful. But anywho, what was I saying? I was talking about my hopes for this podcast. I was talking about my dad. I was talking about how I struggled with grief, how we got here, what this is and what it ain't. Once upon a time, that's where I was. Once upon a time, I was so sure in who I was. My world was upended. I had my second baby. I received a world-changing diagnosis, neurospiciness, if you will. And what that diagnosis did for me was, it made everything make sense. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, the signs were there. The problem is, your girl's smart, extremely smart, and my grades didn't really suffer. So as long as my grades was fine, talk to somebody. Medication? Girl, you fine. How many of you have been victimized by society, your parents, your peers, your family? Because you can't possibly be autistic. You can't possibly have ADHD. You're so calm. If I let you into my brain, you'd be running for the hills. I need you to understand that. A lot goes on up here that I've spent a very long time learning how to mask, because mostly no one wants to hear that, and it sucks. I lost the one person who, while he might not have had the language for what I was dealing with, he spoke to me in a way that I never felt judged. I never felt less than. I never felt ostracized. That's my man, 100 grand for real. That was my nigga. Like, one of my best friends was my father. So you can imagine what it's like. Or no, you can't, unless you've lost a parent. And this is not something that I would wish on anyone. And while life only has one guarantee, no one makes it off of this floating rock. But nothing could have prepared me for being without him. Nothing could have prepared me for the waves of grief that hit me in the most inopportune times, if I'm being honest. Like, I could be doing my daughter's hair, either of them, and I'll hear something and I'm in tears. It's just recently I was able to even listen to soca music again, Soul of Calypso, soca, because that was one of his. He was musically inclined, so we listened to everything. He listened to salsa, he listened to bachata, he listened to reggae, old school reggae, like the Nazio Fontaines of the world, and the real Irie, not just Bob Marley, but like Nazio Fontaine. Look up Nazio Fontaine on Spotify or Apple Music. You can't find much. However, that like discography that I grew up with, it's so expansive. So for it to be April 9th, 2025, I don't listen to jazz. I can't. It's hard. Can't listen to jazz for an extended period of time. I can't listen to Yanni live at the Acropolis from 1993, the one that they put on PBS every Christmas. Yeah, that one. I can't listen to that in its entirety. I can't listen to Beres Hammond at all. You play Rockaway and I'm in tears. Buju's cool. My father introduced me to rap music. And anyone who knows, I could be a real trap queen when it comes down to it. But like, my first experience with rap music was the Quincy Jones album, Back on the Block, where there's Ice-T, there's, of course, Shaka Khan, but Ice-T, let me kick my green, like, learning about music from someone who loved all types of music, and then losing such an influence and still having that love there. Where's it supposed to go? I'm a bit musically inclined, yes. So is he. I don't play instruments, but I do sing. And when he died in 2019, I stopped singing too. So, once upon a time, I fell off the horse. Once upon a time, I was so sure of myself, and the systems I had put in place had failed, and I had to rebuild myself without a support system from the man who raised me, because he's no more. While I still have his teachings, once upon a time, he was here. And doing my best not to get emotional, and I need these tears to not drop. hidden gem is the time and tide wait on no man. And fuck. I'm honored. Honored to have known him and to have had time with him. And this is going to be a ride. Damn, that's a happy first episode. I'll figure out concepts and things later, or how to edit this, or what's supposed to come next. But I think oh shit, by the way, my name is Chris.